You're watching Council Wrap-Up, a look at all the council news for the month of July. Up first, a proposal that calls for the renaming of a county high school slated to be reopened in 2022 after an unsung hero. In 2022, the Tilden Middle School building on Old Georgetown Road in Rockville is slated to reopen as Woodward High School.
Hans, tell us a little bit how this partnership was formed between yourself and Mrs. Leggett.
But Council President Hans Reamer and the county's First Lady, Catherine Leggett, have sent a letter to the Board of Education requesting the school be named for abolitionist and author Reverend Josiah Henson. Henson's experiences as an enslaved man in Montgomery County inspired Harriet Beecher Stowe's landmark novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, one of the most influential books in history.
The county, first of all, has an unsung hero in Josiah Henson, but the fact that he literally lived in this same area, he walked the ground where Old Georgetown Road runs the same route today that it ran then. And he certainly was, I'm sure, walked all over that area in the course of doing his duties. He lived there.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this.
This map was made 2 years after
a portion of the property was recorded. And it's really an incredible opportunity to bring recognition to his work in the social movement of abolition, and to elevate the county's own participation in that story. I mean, the county, this is our history, this is our community.
Catherine Leggett is the campaign chair for the Josiah Henson Foundation and has worked closely on the creation of the Josiah Henson Park. She says naming a high school for Josiah Henson, who walked the very ground where the proposed school will be, sends a powerful message to our community about our unique history and the role of African American leaders in our county since its earliest days.
Josiah Henson was...
On August 10th, a new film about the life of Josiah Henson will be shown at the AFI in Silver Spring. The film corresponds with a new book about Henson's life by Jared Brock, who also produced the documentary.
There'll actually be a dialogue after the film with Jared Brock and Catherine Leggett, and a number of descendants of the Henson family who live, some of them live in this area and others live in other parts of the country, will be there that evening. So it's going to be very interesting, and we're going to have a good chance to have dialogue about Mr. Henson, Reverend Henson, and of course in the background will be this idea of memorializing him by naming a school.
Each summer, the Montgomery County Council offers a 10-week Summer Fellows program for graduate students in their first and second year of study to gain real-world experience in multiple fields of government. We spent a day with this summer's group as they learned about the Thriving Germantown initiative. These 7 future leaders are learning firsthand about the inner workings of county government directly from the experts. The Summer Fellows met with council members and members of the nonprofit community who are working directly with residents in Germantown. They heard how both the population and poverty is growing in this up-county community.
The challenge is those pockets are growing. And as those pockets continue to grow, it makes it even harder for government to do it alone when it comes to meeting the needs of our residents. And that's where our nonprofit partners come in. They're the ones who are the glue who hold it together. They're the ones who ensure that people don't slip through the cracks.
And the other thing that a nonprofit does for us is they know immediately the person that they're serving. The nonprofit actually knows that child. A nonprofit actually knows that family in many ways because they've dealt with the entire time that they're dealing with it.
The panelists on hand represented the Thriving Germantown Community Hub. This program is facilitated through Family Services and offers a combined response to the economic and social disparities that exist in Germantown.
We have a program that offers reading services.
The program works to improve health and wellness, ensure educational success, and address traumatic childhood experiences. All of the services through the hub are provided at Captain James Daly Elementary School in Germantown.
The social services pathway includes some of the services in the following areas: food, clothing, furniture, legal assistance, domestic violence assistance, utility assistance, and many, many more.
One question that I always ask myself every day: if we do one backpack program for after school, have I done anything to help that whole household become food secure? So one intervention's not enough. We need to assess what is that whole household food insecurity.
It was an education for these students on what it takes to build a strong community with so many moving parts.
I've had a parent actually let me know, break down and cry and tell me, that she has to keep it together for her kids. But, kids come first for her, but letting her know that her care as well is just as important, because if she's not okay, she can't provide, the care for her children.
The Summer Fellows program runs through August 10th with a busy agenda, including a visit to Progress Place and a meeting with Montgomery County Public Schools officials. The Montgomery County Police Department's Office of Internal Affairs plays a critical role in working to prevent police misconduct and maintain confidence within the community. The department investigates all complaints received in any form, including email, in person, telephone, or written.
We're going to explain the internal affairs process that's conducted by the Montgomery County Department of Police.
Up first, members of the Public Safety Committee recently heard from Montgomery County Police about how the internal investigation process works, this on the heels of the recent officer-involved shooting in Silver Spring. Last year, there were 291 cases opened by Internal Affairs. Of those, 208 were considered minor offenses, 83 were considered serious, and 55 were declined. Only 7 of the serious offenses were sustained.
We look at violations of department rules, department directives, contract, personnel regulations.
Officers explained how they decide which complaints to pursue during their investigation.
The first one is that the case is unfounded, which simply means that we've investigated it and what you have complained about simply did not occur. Either we looked at body cam or we talked to witnesses and nobody can corroborate what was alleged and it's unfounded. What was complained about didn't occur. Or it could be insufficient evidence. It may have occurred, we're not sure, but we don't have enough evidence to either prove or disprove it. And then you have exonerated, which means we know you did it, but we think it was lawful and proper. You used that amount of force, but from what we've seen in the body camera video and from what we've heard from witnesses, it was lawful and appropriate under those circumstances.
Most of the complaints last year were neglect of duty or unsatisfactory performance. Examples of these types of complaints include speeding, unprofessional demeanor, or not following departmental procedures. The briefing came just weeks after an officer-involved shooting death that took place in Silver Spring. That case is currently being investigated by the Howard County State's Attorney's Office. Committee Chair Mark Elrich told us this meeting was scheduled prior to that incident and that the council would like to see some of the investigations carried out more transparently.
I think the process is thorough. I mean, I think the question that we always get from people is that it's not visible to them, unlike any other court case that might involve someone's actions, which takes place in a court and people can go see. That these are internal, like it says, internal affairs, and they're handled, for the most part, within the departments, and so we continue to get questions. So I think these cases where there actually are hearing boards, it's important that they function.
To file a complaint with the police department, go to the website, click Chief, and from there go to Internal Affairs. The link to the form is at the bottom of the page, and it's also available in Spanish. Montgomery County Police recently held its annual Police Adventure Camp. The goal of the program is to teach children the different aspects of police work and to broaden their horizons in all walks of life.
This week we had our 11th annual Police Adventure Camp. The camp is targeted towards kids that may not know about police officers as well as others. So we want to target the kids that we can reach to hopefully educate them so that they know about the police, so that they will learn to trust and know the police. We want everyone in the community to be familiar and also safe around police officers, and that's what we try to do here. The Police Adventure Camp is all about educating the kids about law enforcement, why we have law enforcement, why we do what we do, and we educate them by bringing in different aspects of the police department. This week at camp we had K-9 come, but we also talk about making good choices.
You make good choices and you act with character, and you will go a long way. And you take the things that you learned this week and every other week of your life, you take those opportunities and you make good choices.
But we also want to expand the kids' horizon. At camp this week, we went to the Air and Space Museum, and with that, we got a lecture on flight, how flight first started. We end every camp with a graduation ceremony, and that's what we just did.
Nevaeh Mendoza.
I'm so proud of my daughter. She's always helping people. She cares about people. And the fact that this camp exists, I'm very excited about it. I support it. I hope this is just a great experience. I mean, people think police are bad. They're actually not. It's when you do the right thing, then you have nothing to worry about.
I've been doing this camp for 11 years. I've seen them from little kids knee-high all the way up to what they are now. And I've seen them growing, and I've seen them getting so many different adventures while they're here at the camp and developing as a person. I think the best thing about this camp is the fact that I get to see that I'm helping to affect somebody to become a good citizen, to become somebody who is going to do their best at what they're going to do. And that's what I get out of this camp. If I can affect one child going through this camp to become a better, more productive citizen, I've won.
The police, I actually respect them now because I didn't really like them before I came to this camp, and now I do.
My daughter got up every morning and she did this on her own. So I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of you.
Well, that does it for this edition of Council Wrap-Up. For more information on the work of the Council, you can visit their website. I'm Susan Kennedy.